Schools has for many years not reflected the true story of South Africa. As part of Heritage Month celebrations, the Castle of Good Hope's Legacy project aims to rectify this. We cross now to our reporter in Cape Town, Vanessa Poonah, who has more. She's at the Castle of Good Hope. Vanessa, good morning to you once again.
Yes, good morning, Julianne, and indeed a bit of a celebration here at the Castle of Good Hope today. A short while ago, if you'll see behind me, a mural has been unveiled, and this, of course, depicts a timeline of the events at the Castle of Good Hope. Now, the aim of this legacy project is to get murals like this one into over 300 schools across South Africa in the different languages of South Africa to educate our youth about the history, the true history of not only our country, but the place that the castle has taken up in that history. And joining me to speak about exactly how this legacy project will unfold in schools is Keti Ngwenya, the MD for School Media. A warm good morning to you, Keti. Just tell us a bit about School Media. What is it that you do?
Good. We are a youth marketing company, and we've got access to 9,000 schools across the country. And then when we do marketing in those schools, it's not just about getting the brand out there, but it's also about informing the youth. And then part of the revenue then goes back to help uplift the schools. So it's not just branding, it's also about developing the schools and making them conducive for learning.
Now, this project, the Legacy project, of course, will see murals like the one behind us installed in quite a number of schools across the country. I understand that 72 schools already have these murals in place. What exactly is the aim of getting as many of these murals in schools in terms of educating and also informing the youth about our history?
100%. So this timeline dates back when the first building was built in South Africa in 1666 and up to 350 years. So this is a basic timeline and basic history that all young people need to know, because it doesn't only tell you about Jan van Riebeeck, but it actually tells you about the Dutch East India Company. The first corporation in the world that we don't know about was actually in South Africa, right up to the 350 years. And it speaks about the kings that were incarcerated and Kratoa, who was in the castle. So this is a basic, but if learners want to go more, they've already got an idea of what has happened in different centuries in South Africa.
Obviously leading up, Khetsi, to the 400th year celebrations of the castle, the aim is over the next few years to have this integrated into the curriculum, not so? 100%.
So with that project, in partnership with the Department of Defense and the Department of Basic Education, are now agreeing that this needs to go into the curriculum, because they didn't actually realize there were so many gaps missing. And so now that there is a task team in place with the department that will be doing this.
If we can perhaps just have a look a step closer towards this mural, for example, some of the dates that are reflected on here. I see, for example, the period between 1873 to 23. So can you just put that in a nutshell for us, how these dates are linked, and in terms of educating the youth about what happened during the various segments or time frames in the castle?
Sure. So obviously different times, it means it's different times, different activities happened, and different rulers and different kings were incarcerated, and there was also different governors. So if you can see in the 1800s, it was King Langabalilile, and then in 1660 it was Domin. So it's different characters and different cultures, and you can see how it actually evolves over time.
Thank you very much, Khetsi. I also have with me, Leanne, this morning, quite a number of learners from schools. A number of schools have been invited to participate in this event. Currently, tours are happening here in the castle. Many of them may not have experienced the castle before. And joining me are a few young learners. A very warm good morning to you. What school are you from? And tell me, what have you learnt during this morning's presentation with the launch of the Legacy project?
Good morning. My name is Nama. I am from Swainrodai. I learned more about the history about the Castle Good Hope, but I learned it's just interesting about how the history is all about the history now. It's just interesting to me.
And also, if I can ask you, what do you think, or why do you think it's important that young people, the youth, and your peers need to know what happened before so that you can know what's going to happen or how to manage the future?
It's like bringing our nation closer together, and it's like the feeling that you're welcomed, and it's all about that, really.
And if I can perhaps ask you, how do you think that this launch is taking place in Heritage Month, and what does it mean for heritage?
First, this is Heritage Month, and it's where we celebrate our cultures, and then it's relevant by we must know our history, and we must know our culture. That's where it is.
Perfect, Leanne. As you can hear, the young people, part of groups of school children that have been invited, part of this legacy project. It's a joint collaboration between the Castle of Good Hope as well as the Department of Defence, coming together really, Leanne, to talk about and also to educate not just the history of our country, but also the history of the castle and the significant role it played in creating that history here in Cape Town and in the country itself, and also for many years a one-sided history really, but now with the launch of this legacy project, moving forward, looking towards how the true history can be told, not just the history from one perspective for many years, just a colonial history, but now also the history including how, for example, the many leaders were enslaved here in our country, but also the significant mark they've made on the democracy that we are currently enjoying in South Africa. So, of course, a number of school groups now on tour throughout the Castle of Good Hope, and this banner behind me, which is a mural already in 72 schools, and of course we can expect this project to be rolled out, Leanne, to at least 300 other schools in all the official languages in South Africa, and that's the launch of the legacy project here at the Castle of Good Hope. Leanne, back to you.